Good afternoon and welcome to Career and Academic Planning for the 2014-2015 school year. Today we will be putting all of the pieces together that we've completed the past 2 weeks and using the 2014-2015 BHS course guide and the CAP website to finalize some decisions before registration begins next week. Let's start with an overview of what we've covered already. Last Friday we started with distributing a list of all the focus areas to all of the BHS seminars. We looked at the focus areas, the requirements for the focus areas, and asked students to begin reviewing the focus areas and narrowing down a focus area to one so that they could register for a focus area this spring. This week, students received a copy of their transcript and completed a graduation checklist using the requirements shown here. Students used their checklist to determine which requirements they'd met for graduation and which remained outstanding. Following the completion of the graduation checklist, students began creating a 4-year plan based on the student's current grade level. Finally, students had the opportunity to visit the BHS course fair. Programs of study and focus areas were presented to students by the teachers and students currently enrolled in those focus areas. Students were able to gain additional knowledge about courses that they are interested in so that they have a better understanding of what the courses require and if the course would be a good fit for the individual student. Next week, students will begin choosing courses for the 2014-2015 school year. They will choose a focus area, start times, 7 primary course requests, and also 3 credits of alternate course request. To make better decisions using the knowledge that they've received the past 2 weeks, but also some information that in a more detailed form, we have created the BHS 2014-2015 course guide and a CAP website that is available to all students and parents so that you can obtain this information quickly and at your convenience. To access the Bentonville High School course guide for the 2014-2015 school year and the CAP information website, visit the Bentonville High School main website and under Departments choose BHS Cares, which is the Counseling, Advisement, Registration, Enrollment, and Scheduling Department. From this site, you can find a lot of information about CAP, including a flipbook of the 2014-2015 school course guide, a printable version of the book that you can print at home, a link to the CAP website, and then also some commonly asked frequently asked questions regarding the CAP process. So let's start on the CAP website. All of the information that we've been covering the past 2 weeks, and also this video, which will be posted today, plus additional information the next 2 weeks, can all be found on the CAP website. Copies of the book are linked here, the slideshow of the course fair, a letter regarding GPA changes associated with the math courses at the junior high schools. All of the information can be found here on the website for your convenience. Now, let's take a look at the course guide. This year's course guide received a major overhaul. We attempted to make it much more user-friendly and to have very easily accessible information at your fingertips so that you could have your questions answered very quickly. Inside the book, you will find a great deal of information and even further information based on the bright blue links. You can click on the link from the flipbook and it will take you to sites outside of the book itself. On page 5, there's a table of contents that shows all the information that's contained in the book. Not only is there information about all of the courses offered at BHS, but also several pieces of information that you've seen through the CAP process this year: graduation requirements, the focus areas, a 4-year plan that looks a little bit different but is similar in structure. There's also information on the transition from 8th grade to 9th grade for our students who are coming to us from the junior highs. In addition, there is information from our post-secondary advisor on college preparation timelines, scholarships and entrance exams, helpful websites, and some options after high school. So let's take a look at the information contained in the guide. In addition to the graduation requirements, there's information on SmartCore, new student enrollment from other schools, homeschool participation, course load. All students are required to be registered for a full course load at BHS unless you are a super senior, which means you are have a few remaining courses after your graduating class is finished. Everyone else must take 7 full classes or be registered for 7 classes plus seminars. So you have to be on campus 8 hours a day. You can graduate early if this is something you're interested in. You need to speak to your counselor. The criteria for honor graduates is listed in the book. We do have high honors as well as honors, plus the criteria for valedictorian, salutatorian, and top 10. Make sure that you are a SmartCore, on track for SmartCore, because that is a requirement for all of the academic honors for graduation. If you are missing a credit, if you have failed a course, or if you are going into senior year and you have more than 7 credits you need to finish, then there are some ways to earn new credit or recover credit outside of BHS. You can repeat courses, you can take credit recovery, summer school, correspondence and online courses, concurrent enrollment. Criteria or a little information about Gateway is down here. If you have questions about any of those, please see your counselor. Planning tools. We've already talked a bit about focus areas, and you will be using a code to register for a focus area this year. It's going to be on your course registration sheet. The sheet that we covered with focus areas is was condensed and is from these pages in the course guide. And so again, if you click on one of these links, it will take you to the Arkansas Career Education website, which has some one-page handouts about that focus area, advanced certifications, and also colleges and universities within the state of Arkansas that offer that program. They are great pieces of information, so I encourage you to do that if you are interested in any of the blue highlighted focus areas shown here with the ACE initials out beside them. Course descriptions. Please be sure to note the core classes, the core departments, English, Science, Social Studies, and Math are all divided by freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So the classes that are available to each grade level. Courses, if they have an asterisk, are elective courses and do not count towards the English core 4 core credits for graduation. So English 1, for example, and English 1 Pre-AP are freshman level English classes. If you took critical reading this year at any of the grade levels, that will count as an elective. And so it doesn't count towards your English credits, but instead towards an elective. So you can know that by the asterisks that are beside the elective classes. And that's the same for all of the different core classes. Let me flip back over here to math and show you math's sheet. And so Algebra 1 will count for a math credit, while Algebra 1 Lab counts as an elective credit. So make sure that you realize that. A note, that is a change. In the past, the daily algebra classes and daily geometry classes, you've only received 1 credit, although you've been in those classes for 2 blocks. And the same goes for this year's Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 lab class. You received credit for Algebra 1 but not for the lab. The same for geometry, but we were able to receive a course approval from the State Department to begin giving credit for the labs, but it's an elective credit, not a math credit. So we can go through all the different subjects. They're again the same. Those that are marked with an asterisk do not count towards SMART core requirements, science requirements. Some of the science classes, because science is a little different between Bentonville High School and SMART core requirements, these with the asterisk will fill the BHS requirements but do not fulfill SMART core. Okay, so let's head over to Fine Arts, especially to the music classes, which start on page 39. We're going to register for the music classes differently than we have in the past. In past years, we had all of the, for example, the band ensembles, and you could register for concert band 1, 2, 3, 4, symphonic band 1, 2, 3, 4, and we had quite a bit of difficulty with registrations with this last year. Students were registered for concert band who ended up in wind ensemble. We had a lot of students register for color guard and then did not make the color guard or chose not to try out for color guard. So we're going to do band registrations and choir and orchestra a little differently this year. They are going to be based on grade level. So if you are in 9th grade, it's band 1, 10th grade, it's band 2, etc. It's the same for orchestra and for choir. After tryouts in the spring, your band directors, choir directors, orchestra directors will update those rosters for us, and we will then automatically include those course requests on your course request sheet before we run the scheduler. So you will end up in the correct band, choir, or orchestra. The final thing that I want to show you for the career, well, not final thing, I take that back, but one more thing is under the CTE Practical Arts classes, the focus areas are included at the start of each of these course descriptions. Here's architecture, for example, and the programs of study mimic the focus areas as they are at the front of the book, but just a reminder of the classes that you need to take for each of those focus areas. Underneath each course description, this is your course number. It tells you the grade levels that it's available for. If it's a full year credit or a half credit, it will be noted here, and if there's a prerequisite. So make sure you pay attention to this information so that you'll know if you are eligible to take that class based on your grade level and your meeting of the prerequisite requirements. Okay, so let me flip over to physical education, athletics, and health. We are also doing these classes differently this year. We're not registering for athletics. We are going to let you register for start times associated with the athletics, but not for the athletics itself. We had several schedule changes due to incorrect athletics being added on student schedules at the first of the year due to CAP course request. And so if you are going to try out for a sport and you intend on making that sport and participating next year, then you need to register for the start time associated with that sport. So make sure if you are going to be on the 9th grade female track team next year that you register for regular start in the spring, because the girls track team has practice before school, so it's important that you're in the correct start time. Okay, I'm going to stop here and we will start on part 2 in just a moment.